At Ritual, we know what goes into a magical holiday season. The potluck planning, the gift giving, the spreadsheets. This new year, take a moment for yourself with simple, daily rituals that help you put your foundational health at the top of your to-do list. Rituals Essential for Women 18 Plus Multivitamin is a clinically backed multivitamin featuring 9 high-quality key essential ingredients to help you fill key nutrient gaps in your diet. Or maybe you're stressing your daily protein intake, or you want to double down on support for your gut microbiome. From plant-based essential protein to 3-in-1 pre, pro, and postbiotic strains with Symbiotic Plus, Ritual helps you focus on supporting your body after a long season of juggling everybody else. And for a limited time, do it with 30% off a 3-month supply at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
Welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense Show. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join the conversation, just go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you would like to watch a live stream, go to reaver.one. Click on the live video. Make it so easy, a liberal can do it. Seems like I'm a little hoarse this morning. Well, the new store is up. The Reaver store is up. If you want to support the store and if you want to support shrmedia.com, go to reaver.one, click on the Reaver store. About the t-shirt, skateboard, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, those little aluminum water bottles. We got a lot of stuff. Go and check it out. So, we're going to get with the show. And before I get into this first article, I do not agree with the article, but if Cruz had a half a brain cell, but on the other half, he's got some momentum behind him and some publicity out of it. But last summer, he would have stood up, told Beck that Trump's wife was off limits. And don't tell me, well, that's Beck, I have no control. Bullshit. He would have also told Romney to back off and that the wives were off limits. He would have stood up last Tuesday night, and said, this is unacceptable from any PACs. This is unacceptable in this race to be sending pictures of voice out. I know he finally denounced it hours later, days later. If he would have came out last summer and told his buddy, jock supporter, Beck, to back off, that was unacceptable, I don't think we would have any of this issue coming up. Cruz would have looked like the better man in it. And don't tell me, well, the PACs he has no control over. It wasn't a PAC pro-Cruz. If it wasn't a pro-Cruz PAC, why were they telling people to vote for Cruz in their ad? It's that simple. Fox is twisting it, Cruz is up there, and you're sniveling, and then you attacked my wife, and this. Well, you know what? They've been going at Melania Trump. Glenn Beck, as I talked about it yesterday, accused her of being a lesbian porn star because she was a model. She didn't do any porn. To my knowledge, she hasn't any girl-on-girl type video action. This is not about looks like everybody's jumping all over. This is about Trump's wife was attacked. Cruz remained silent. This is not the first time it's happened underneath Cruz's watch. And all Cruz had to do was disavow those actions last summer. But instead, he remained silent. And silence is approving. I know there's people out there with a different view. This isn't because I'm blindly backing Trump. It's because I could see, and I'm not twisting it to the fact that Trump's attacking a woman. No. He stood up for his wife. I said yesterday, you do that about my wife, I'm going to come down there and knock the teeth down your throat. But now it's opened a whole new ball game for Cruz. I saw something on Twitter last night about a sex scandal with Cruz. It was late at night. I was losing power on and off. We had storms come through here. And then right before the show, checking a couple things, and I saw, it was National Inquisitor, one of those. But, like several news agencies were pointing out, they have gotten several sex scandals correct. They have exposed it on several people.
At Ritual, we know what goes into a magical holiday season. The potluck planning, the gift giving, the spreadsheets. This new year, take a moment for yourself with simple, daily rituals that help you put your foundational health at the top of your to-do list. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin is a clinically backed multivitamin featuring 9 high-quality key essential ingredients to help you fill key nutrient gaps in your diet. Or maybe you're stressing your daily protein intake, or you want to double down on support for your gut microbiome. From plant-based essential protein to 3-in-1 pre, pro, and postbiotic strains with Symbiotic Plus, Ritual helps you focus on supporting your body after a long season of juggling everybody else. And for a limited time, do it with 30% off a 3-month supply at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Breitbart News said that they had that story back in February, but they didn't want to run it. Several women have been confirmed. This has been out there for a while now, and it's getting legs. So the man who loves his wife so much. But the article that was there is Ted Cruz to Donald Trump. Donald, you're a sniveling coward. Leave Heidi the hell alone. Well, Cruz, you're a slimeball politician lawyer. You're the lowest of the low. And as I said, you would have silently stood by as Trump's wife was attacked by your good buddy and jock supporter, Glenn Beck, attacked her. You stood there and did nothing. Romney has gone at her. So you are pointing the finger a little late. But in a continuing wife battle between the top two 2016, excuse me. Yeah, 2016. Republican presidential contender, Senator Ted Cruz, and Donald Trump. Cruz is slamming Trump for a late-night tweet aimed at Heidi Cruz. Cruz told reporters, "It is not easy to tick me off, and I don't get angry often, but you mess with my wife, you mess with my kids, that'll do it every time. Donald, you're a sniveling coward, and leave Heidi the hell alone." And if that was his angry face, I would be laughing. I wonder how many times he had to practice that in the mirror, because literally, I mean, it was funny. I would have laughed in his face. The senator from Texas went on to say that he will beat Trump for the Republican presidential nomination. He accused Trump of being scared of strong women, scared to debate, scared of Megyn Kelly. Oh, we're going to go the 5-year-old route, or 5th grade route, I should say, and call out chicken. Oh, you're scared. You're losing. Of course you want to debate so you can sit there and smear Trump more, because you had chances in all these debates to debate him, and all you wanted to do was push lies. You've been caught in lies about everything. You've been caught in lies about Trump hiring illegals, about eminent domain, about him hiring illegal women, about his donation record. But you keep going on with it because you were a trained liar. And as a trained liar, you know just putting doubt in the people's mind is enough. Cruz accused Trump of lashing out against his wife because of Cruz's strong win in Utah. He sits there and he picks out little wins. Yes, congratulations, you got a big win in Utah. Congratulations, you want a fucking cookie? You know, how about there has been 20 wins by Trump? And Cruz thinks because he won number 10, that makes him strong? You're losing. You're a loser. And the only way you're going to be able to get the nomination is if you steal it. That's all. For him to win, he has to win over 83% of the primaries. Cruz has to win 83% of the votes. He is at such a long shot. But he actually thinks he can get... The only way you're going to get it is if you go to the convention and you get on your knees for all those delegates and all those establishment that you've been bending over for lately. It's the only way you're going to make it. You're not going to make it in on votes. And I'm sorry, this contested and brokered, it is a relic rule. It was needed back in the day when candidates campaigned just basically in their state, and if they got around the whole state, they were lucky at that. The candidates didn't go to all 50 states. They weren't jet-setting across the country. So it wasn't uncommon for a state to vote and elect a local homegrown candidate. Now, I'm not saying we need to change the rules right before the conventions, but there's a lot of chatter. That's what they're going to do. But they're not going to do it where they do away with the contested convention or their brokered convention. They're talking about changing the 1237. And yes, they could do it that easy. Trump gets to 1237. They can change that number and make it higher just prior to the convention. And the rules would take effect immediately. So, your big win, whoop-de-friggin-do. You had one big win. I mean, the guy has celebrated losing. That's how bad his campaign's going, that he has to celebrate losing. And he's strong. A strong win. One big win. Woohoo! Yes, I had one big win. I cannot fathom, a quarterback going out there. Oh yeah, they're ahead in the game and they won the Super Bowl, but they better watch out. I had that one big win last week. It makes me want to laugh. Celebrating one big win. And he went on to talk about Heidi as the daughter of a Christian missionary and an unbelievable mom. Bet she is. But a Christian missionary. I wonder how they feel about having a son-in-law that's being put up on a pedestal and put up there as a false idol. And don't tell me he isn't, because they're sitting there, Beck is putting him up there, claiming he's all this next reincarnated on the goddamn Mormons. And you don't hear him denying it. That is a sin. And he doesn't have to be rude. And don't you say that. When Beck does that, just get up there. Hey, thank you very much for those kind words. But I am a humble servant of God. I am none of those. I wish I could aspire to be that great, but that is not me. I am a humble servant of God. Guess what? He gives a compliment to the whatever religion he's being propped up to, but he sticks to the Christian ways of doing it. And I'm not big on religion, but I would not be sitting there taking those compliments like that. I am not an idol to be put up above everybody else. But this man accepts it. I question his true faith of what he knows. Because he's allowing these things to be said. And sorry, when you do not disavow it, and they made a big stink, and he made a big stink about it earlier in this race. So, he has a mouthpiece out there bashing Christians because they're not voting for Cruz. So he has this mouthpiece out there bashing us. Well, Cruz, you really ought to be stepping on that. Trump's camp quickly responded. According to CNBC, Ted is desperate right now to stay relevant in this campaign cycle. Trump has a long history of working very closely with women and has a great relationship with them. And all Cruz is doing is perpetuating that Republicans have a war on women. By doing this and allowing these PACs and allowing Romney and allowing Beck, he is perpetuating that myth that the Democrats love to use. He's not that smart. For someone that went to Harvard, Cruz is pretty friggin' dumb. Leading up to the Utah Republican Presidential Caucus, the anti-Trump super PAC, Make America Awesome founder, Liz, whatever the hell her last name, Marr, ran Facebook ads with partially nude modeling photos of Trump's wife with the words, "Meet Melanie Trump, your next first lady," or you could vote for Ted Cruz on Tuesday. That was okay for them to do that. That was okay for them to target Melanie Trump. And he stood by and allowed that to happen. Yes, I know. He had no control over it. Yes, he does. He could have came out in the media and disavowed it. This is the same woman that worked for Scott Walker and the same woman that was forced to resign for doing similar attacks. I'm sorry. Maybe Trump should not have responded that way. Maybe it wasn't the best way to handle it. But you know what? Cruz didn't handle it at all. He sat back and thought it may have been funny. He sat back while his boy, Glenn Beck, attacked Trump's wife. He sat back while Romney attacked Trump's wife. But he doesn't think it's funny when his wife gets attacked. Not laughing now, are you? And I don't blame Trump for firing back. And I'm getting tired of this crap. Trump fires back and everybody forgets. So conveniently forgets about the first part of it. You had Krafthammer, whatever that jackass's name on Fox is, about Trump talking about the size of his hands. Oh, he was so sick. He was responding to Mark Rubio making that comment, but your little boy toy, you forget about. They always forget to mention that it was Marco Rubio that started that whole shit. Well, showing just how sick and desperate you people are. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHRmedia.com and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying calf for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to be part of the show, go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a live stream, go to Reaver.one, click on the live video, and, well, you'll have live stream. If you want to support the show and support shrmedia.com, you can go to Reaver.one, click on Reaver Store. There's a bunch of stuff, stickers, shirts, mugs, well, not mugs. Oh, beer cozy. Quite a few items. So check it out. And I've talked and touched on it and made a few points, but I was really sitting back last night and thought about it. And the more I hear and read about Cruz, and more I see his tactics, and I know a lot of people just, for some reason, they don't see his tactics, and they deny what is being done. But there's all these problems that are popping up around his campaign. And the more I see the Obama conservative version, it just I know people are, both were first-term senators. First and foremost is that both men were first-term senators when they launched their bids. Obama was elected in the Senate of 2004, Cruz in 2012. Neither had any significant legislative achievements during their tenure. Supporters of Cruz say this is a result of the lack of GOP leadership, but that doesn't seem to have stopped Marco Rubio from having a productive career. Both men have begun running for president almost immediately after hanging curtains in their senator office. Both men are minorities. Obama is the first black president, and you may have heard about this. Cruz is a Cuban-American. Well, Cuban-American-Canadian, depending on who you ask. At any rate, neither man checks Caucasian on the consensus form. So as far as I'm aware, their familiar backgrounds appeal to their respective bases. In Obama's case, his father was a self-destructive economic reformer in Africa, and his mother's career gave her son an unusual upbringing. Cruz's father fled persecution in communist Cuba, first to communist Canada, where Cruz was born, but more on that in before settling in communistic Austin, Texas. Later, they moved to Houston. And I do jest with a couple of those, so calm down. I know the Texans are like, oh my God, no. Just playing around. Both men have eligibility issues. As it turns out, both men are also alike in that the fanatical wing of swamp-dwelling cranks are convinced they're ineligible for the office because they're foreigners. No amount of rational explanation will convince these critics otherwise, and no amount of scorn or contempt seems liable to shut them up. While this is actually reason to sympathize with both men, it is still an interesting peek into how they might deal with political dead-enders and conspiracists. Contract Ron Paul and his son, who seem to be a little too cozy with that type. That Cruz did not renounce his dual citizenship with Canada until 2014 is just fuel for the crazy fire. Both are sons of foreign-born fathers. Both are Harvard. Oh my God, I can't speak. Coffee time. Both are Harvard Law graduates. Obama was the president of Harvard Law Review and a generally well-liked young fellow. Cruz, who arrived the year after Obama graduated in 1992, was not either of those things. However, he was a principal editor of the Law Review and is remembered by alumni for other reasons. Neither man's intelligence is questioned by any serious critics. When discussing similarities between the two, remember that intelligence has always been a key part of the sales pitch for both. Both were law professors. Obama is rather famously a former constitutional law professor who possesses the slimmest possible understanding of or respect for the Constitution. The president taught the subject from 1992 to 2004 at the University of Chicago Law School, so it's no surprise he has been so effective at subverting it. Cruz is an adjunct professor at the University of Texas School of Law in Austin, where he taught Supreme Court litigation, something he's actually good at. Both were state-level officials. While Obama won 3 elections to become a state senator for Chicago before his national career took off, Cruz was appointed Solicitor General of Texas by then-Attorney General Greg Abbott. Now, here's where Cruz outshines Obama. His career as a litigator was a targeted use of his talent, especially on several landmark cases that went to the Supreme Court. He has argued in front of that body more times than anyone in Congress. Damn popcorn. Of his 9 oral arguments before the Supreme Court, he won 5 cases and lost 4. Both are populist. Pass the Affordable Care Act, repeal the Obamacare. These are 2 sides of the same populist coin and are central to both men's political identity. In fact, they have both built their career out of it. Obama drew first blood here with his rainiest dog turd of a signature legislative achievement. Among its many, many unintended negative consequences, we see now that it also gave Cruz a path to the presidency. Both are simply adored by their party's base. To their more avid supporters, neither man can do wrong. Saturday Night Live runs a skit within black commentators attempt to identify what could possibly make them stop supporting Obama. Nothing, as it turns out. This effect carries over to white Democrats as well, and an argument could be made that the adulteration prevented Obama from making some necessary course corrections, especially in his foreign policy. Cruz, who will never have non-hostile sketch comedy written about him, rarely misses an opportunity to tell his base precisely what they want to hear, regardless of their ability to carry through with his promise. No matter how many times it becomes apparent he has no way to deliver on his rhetoric, they never abandon him. Both are divisive and intensely disliked by the opposing faction. Both men had found themselves in the position of being loved in some quarters, but entirely despised in others. Some of it is political. Obama swung the country too far left, too fast, and involved too many end runs around the Constitution. Meanwhile, Cruz made few friends among his colleagues by repeatedly dicking them over during his short time in Senate. And the electorate may be just as hostile to a Cruzian swing to the right and the intended threat to entitlements. Both are civil rights attorneys and both claim constitutional attorneys. Both have taken no responsibilities for their actions, always passing blame to someone else. Cruz has passed the blame about the Carson situation. Cruz blamed a volunteer for the Hawaii incident. The problem with several attacks on Trump, the anti-Trump pack, Mitt Romney, and Cruz's right-hand man and jock supporter Glenn Beck, who called Ms. Trump a lesbian porn star. Some of it is wholly irrational. Obama's arrogant disdain attitude sets teeth on edge. Cruz's doughy nerd face and annoying voice activates the lizard part of the brain that says, this kid should give me his lunch money. For all of his many, many faults, Obama actually has some personal appeal that Cruz doesn't have. As much as I hate to give Obama a compliment, he is charismatic. He has this bullshit aura around him that it's almost like a magnet. It draws you in. Cruz doesn't have it. Cruz does not have that charisma. He has a very grating personality. An unfair but essential point for electoral politics where so much rests on the intangibles. There is a segment of the population that will never, ever like either man. The difference? Obama got to the point after 6 years of being president, and Cruz starts there. Obama also did not split his party where Cruz has caused division. At least Obama's motto was hope and change. Cruz's motto is stop Trump. So if you want to see what a Cruz presidency will look like, just look at the last 7 years. Nothing will get done. Grabbed a couple pieces of popcorn during the break, and you got the kernels ticking me off. Cruz is so far right, he will have a presidency that's so far right, nothing will get done. It will be fought in House and Senate. Everything will be fought. I can guarantee you we'll lose the House and Senate, especially if Cruz is elected. But then, as I've said many times, Democrats have a better PR department. Whether I like it, whether you like it, it's just a simple fact. They have a better PR department. They've already sowed the seeds that the Republicans are obstructionists. They did that over the last couple of years. So far, the Republicans have been able to keep that at bay. You get Cruz in there, and it swings so far right, and nothing is going to get done, and they're going to turn around and go, we told you, the Republicans are the obstructionists. We've told you time and time again. We have Democrats right now that are not happy with their party and are looking at leaving. Those people can't go from what they've been dealing with to an extreme right party. And I know some people, who cares? Because we need the people. We need people in the Republican Party. The numbers game is not working out in our favor sometimes. We need the people in the party, and we need to be flexible. And you can disagree all you want. We need to be flexible. And if you have a cruise, it's going to prove everything that they have said about Republicans, all the negative. It's going to reinforce it. Those people are going to go back to the Democrat Party to never, ever think about Republicans in a good light. Plain and simple. It is not in a good light that this is going on. If we went moderate Republican to maybe a little bit stronger, Republican, conservative, and then Cruz went and stepped up, it wouldn't be a shock. But when you go from that far left to that far right, it would throw this country into such a shock. I don't even know what all the repercussions would be. But nothing would get done. And it would damage the Republican parties for years to come. And this isn't a gang and beat up on Cruz. But what we have going on right now, no, it would not be good. And I understand everybody's frustrations that are going on. And everybody's on edge. I have tried to look from both sides. But the rhetoric that's going on, I'm tired of. What I'm not tired of is you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on High Plains Pundit and SHRmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show.
I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be anymore.
Just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. The Jersey Takeover is here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to become part of the show, well, you can. Just go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch live stream, go to Reaver.one, click on the live video. And if you want to support the show and SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the store. All right, before I get to the next topic, there's an ad that I saw. And let me see that button. Now remember, these are people that are now backing Cruz.
What would your message be to Ted Cruz? Have a little bit of self-restraint.
Ted Cruz is just like any other politician. He says whatever he needs to say to get elected.
Ted Cruz is not my favorite by any means.
Going to play that again because it's Jeb Bush, Carly Fiorni, and Lindsey Graham talking about Ted Cruz.
What would your message be to Ted Cruz? Have a little bit of self-restraint.
Ted Cruz is just like any other politician. He says whatever he needs to say to get elected.
Ted Cruz is not my favorite by any means.
Oh, those are endorsements I want. So, listen, you can pick apart every candidate and you can come up with negative for every candidate. And it's getting that way. All right. So, Cruz also wants to go after Trump because he buys people off, supposedly. Which, I don't want to say supposedly. He said he bought politicians off. Hey, businessman. Cruz can't talk much because he is now buying politicians off for their support. About a month ago, he got the support of Carly Fiorni, or whatever the hell her name was. And immediately, once she did the endorsement, $500,000 was transferred over to her account to help pay off the campaign's debt. Now, it seems it's being done again. So please tell me, who's buying who? Cruz solicits donations to pay off Walker's campaign debt. They were rivals on the campaign trail, but now Senator Cruz is trying to help Governor Scott Walker to pay off the debt he accumulated during his failed presidential bid. The Texas senator took to Twitter on Sunday to urge his followers to donate money to help retire Walker's lingering 2016 campaign debt. I stand with my friend at Scott Walker, and I hope you will too, Cruz tweeted to his Cruz crew. Cruz then linked to a donation page for Walker's campaign. Your contributions of $10, $35, $50, $100, $250 or more right now will help us pay down this campaign debt and officially close the book on our 2016 campaign. And if you contribute $30 or more in the next 3 days, we will send you a limited edition lapel pin of Being a Loser. The pin features the logo of Walker's presidential failed campaign, which he ended on September 21st in the face of dwindling funds and dropping poll numbers. After dropping out of the race, the Wisconsin governor has been soliciting contributions to pay off an estimated $1 million in debt. Campaign finance reports released in October showed his short-lived campaign raised $7.4 million, but spent money as quickly as it came in. Those reports show the campaign burned through about $90,000 a day. A lot of that went to the salaries paid to a large staff. The governor's campaign manager made more than $50,000 for 71 days of work, while Walker's son, Matt and Alex, drew nearly $10,000 in salary between them over 10 weeks. Contribution to Walker's campaign peaked in July with $2.4 million, but dropped by 50% in August, the month when he was deemed to have been given a triplet performance in the first GOP debate. Walker has not yet made an endorsement in the 26th Republican presidential race. Jeez. That's hard to tell. You have his failed campaign is now being financed by Ted Cruz, as Ted Cruz did with Carly Fioroni. And I'm sure Walker all of a sudden will, I've always endorsed him. I always was backing him. But I just didn't come forward yet. Some excuse will come up. This shit makes me want to run for position. I am so sick of this crap that goes on. They lambaste Trump and people that supported Trump because there was negative things said during campaign between them. But they don't question Carly, Jeb, backing Cruz as they slammed him too. Lindsey Graham has been, a month before he supported him, he was talking about how how Cruz could be shot in the middle of the Senate floor and nobody would do a damn thing about it. And this shows how much they know that they've lost. That there's anti-Trump shadow campaign begins as Cruz and Kasich lobby for contested conventions. They can't win it through the people, so they want to backdoor it through the establishment. Just weeks earlier, Ted Cruz declared he wasn't in favor of a contested GOP convention. Today, Cruz's campaign operatives are directly involved in an effort to shift delegates away from Donald Trump at a contested GOP convention. Cruz is being aided by similar tactics employed by Ohio Governor John Kasich, who sees a contested convention as his only way of winning the nomination, given Kasich has only won but one primary state, his own. Kasich, mathematically, is impossible for him to win the nomination. It's something like 110% of the votes he would have to get. Or delegates, I should say. It is a cutthroat political endeavor unlike any seen for decades in America politics. A clear GOP frontrunner who finds himself being attacked from all sides by his own political party. Politico reports today that operatives for the Kasich and Cruz campaign have been flying out to state delegate meetings to implore those delegates to prepare for second and third ballot voting, and then to shift their support for the remaining candidates not named Trump. Such a open attempt is to influence delegates so far removed from the convention floor are not illegal, though highly unusual. A sign of both desperation by the Cruz and Kasich campaign, but also proof that the GOP establishment continues to implore those same campaigns to fully prepare for contested convention outcomes that the party is now so actively attempting to ensure takes place. That, too, is highly unusual. As of today, Donald Trump's dominance of the GOP delegate count, but he fails to secure a majority of delegates. All the dominance could quickly vanish at the convention. Again, to have a candidate with the largest delegate count suddenly being pushed aside by the party machine would be highly unusual. That is... He can make it. It's not a hard endeavor. The numbers are not that difficult for him to reach. They're not impossible like Kasich or astronomical like Cruz. He needs only like 40% of the delegates. Wait a minute. No, he's 60% done. He's got 40% to go. Something like that. This is showing how desperate they are. They know they can't win. So if they can't win, they're just in it right now to screw over the people. Any other election, they would have dropped out by now. This is why I'm done with the Republican Party. This crap that's going on in the back, it's just getting sickening. I'm getting tired of it. It's appalling. Absolutely appalling. And the longer they drag this on, the more the candidates get dragged through the mud, the more ammunition you give to the Democrats. Highly unusual appears to be the consistent theme of the 2016 Republican race for the White House, where the will of the voter is being willfully disregarded by the desire of the party machine. It is also interesting to note how conservatives are yet again being given promises by the Republican establishment that it might support Ted Cruz at a contested convention. That is made more interestingly given how often the same Republican establishment has used conservative voters time and time and time again to win elections in the House and Senate, only to turn away from those conservatives once they reach Washington. Conservatives would do well to remember who is quietly making those same promises to them now. Beware politicians bearing gifts. Remember, these are the same people that said if we gave them the House, if we gave them the Senate, they would stop Obama. They would stop Obamacare. They would stop all this shit from happening. We give it to them, and they forget their end of the deal. And now, they are causing such issues throughout the campaign that everybody's starting to forget about what they've done time and time and time again. Well, I haven't. I voted that way, and I will continue to vote that way. I am not falling in to the party, the establishment. They'll offer you candy and tell you that they'll get Cruz elected. And upon getting there, you will see somebody else walk out with the nomination. You will not see Cruz walking out. You will not see Kasich walking out. You will see someone else walking out. but yet the people keep trusting the establishment. And no, Ted Cruz is not the anti-establishment. It is. This whole election, it's the Republicans have done everything they can to shoot themselves in the foot. And I don't understand it. The same people that are promising and pushing that that Ted Cruz will be the winner of the contested convention. I can't believe people are actually falling for that. I'm dumbfounded by it, flabbergasted, and a bunch of other terms. I know it'll never happen, but it would actually be smart if Cruz turned around and said, you know what, made a deal with Trump to get VP. I could see 2 terms coming out of that pairing right there, and then possibly Cruz walking out afterwards as president. But egos are getting in the way, and people whispering in the background are getting in the way. But that's just my opinion. But I know for a fact you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on shrmedia.com and High Play Pundit News. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show.
I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me anymore.
Just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm trying to make sense out of this senseless, and my brain's numb right now. So on Facebook, in a discussion, and the gentleman said about with Trump that Democrats are just voting him in with no intentions of voting for him in the general. And not so many words, but that was his meaning. And as I said, and it's a lot of misconceptions on people, think that people vote for both parties, and most states are closed primaries. And he goes back, well, people can change their mind from primary to general. No shit, Dick Tracy. No, you got to lock your vote up, and that's the same. You just have to vote twice. If it was that way, why the frig would we have two different elections? Oh, sometimes it just... It boggles my mind. Getting tired of this primary. It is mind-numbing. And this is how bad it's getting. The Republicans are critical of Donald Trump, but open to Hillary Clinton. They are scared of a man that, yeah, it's going to bring change. Change for the better. But they're open for a murderous, lying thief, Hillary Clinton. They're open to her. They're open to a woman who got 4 Americans murdered. That is the sick and disgusting thinking of the establishment. And I'm speechless on it. Prominent Republicans say they're open to supporting Democrat Hillary Clinton to keep GOP frontrunner Donald Trump from becoming president of the United States. This is how sick and how low they will stoop. What's happening is you have a lot of people who are desperate to get anybody in there other than Trump. People are going for Cruz because at the end of the day, they think he's considerably less bad than Trump. That was from a former advisor of Marco Rubio, and we saw how good of an advisor he was. He's not even in contention anymore. It was reported Cohen, along with Brian McGrath, organized an open letter opposing Trump that was signed by more than 120 members of the Republican foreign policy establishment. The letter declared that Trump is unfit to be president because his views of American powers are widely inconsistent and unmoored in principle. Wong noted that several members of the group are shifting support towards Cruz. Donald Trump is not a Republican. He is a classless wealth. Well, if you're scummy enough to lower yourself to support Hillary Clinton, who murdered 4 people, that shows me how disgusting and how depraved you really are. Between Clinton and Trump, McGrath told Wong on foreign and defense policies, I at least trust Hillary's judgment. Yeah, Hillary's judgment that got us 4 dead Americans. Hillary's judgment where she didn't send help. That's how our establishment thinks. And people want to follow that. You want to follow that and trust their opinions when they're willing to trust Hillary's judgment, which has been proven time and again to be failed judgment. People want to listen to the establishment as they will trust Hillary's judgment. They're willing to give the presidency to a woman that got 4 Americans murdered and left many others to die. So them backing Cruz does not give me a wealth of a warm feeling inside. To me, I would be running away from that endorsement. Lindsey Graham, we can lose in 2016, and we probably will. Great attitude. I mean, oh my God, just the positive reinforcement. Lindsey Graham needs to fade into nothing. He is a sore loser. All these ones that are crying are the ones that lost to Trump. Sounds like a lot of sore losers crying. Thursday on MSNBC's Morning Joe, Senator Lindsey Graham discussed his decisions and others to rally behind Senator Ted Cruz's presidential effort despite having criticized the junior Texas senator in the past. Graham was pessimistic about the GOP's chance in November, but argued Cruz gave his party the best shot. We are already split. Here's my concern. We can lose in 2016, and we probably will. Trump gets wiped out. Ted makes it competitive. Yes, I'm going to trust the people that gave us Romney. In a slam dunk election, the people gave us Romney, who lost in a slam dunk election. This is how low they will go. Yeah, Trump is a standard bearer. It's not about 2016. It's about losing the heart and soul of the conservative movement. It's not going to. I'm not going to stand behind a guy that gets David Duke's support. You fucking idiot. Anybody can support anybody without any cause. David Duke has already said he is not supporting or endorsing Trump. Lindsey Graham is lying like politicians do. He is twisting the facts. What is it about Trump's campaign that David Duke liked? Lindsey Graham, go off, retire. You are the problem with the Republican Party. You bring the Republican Party down. I don't think you are a conservative. I think you are a wolf in sheep's clothing. You have sided with the Democrats. You have bent over for Obama. You have helped Obama. So why should we listen to Graham? And as he put it, it's no longer about winning the election. I'm trying to salvage a party that I love in conservatism as I know it. What conservatism is for him is to let the Democrats have whatever they want. He is one of the reasons why everything has gone to hell in this party. And he tries to push the blame off on everybody else, as politicians do. Just as Cruz has done. Every time there's been an issue, he's pointing his fingers in every direction but himself. That is a direct view of his presidency. It's disgusting. I am sick of the Republican Party. When you have mouthpieces like Graham that have destroyed the party, that have given everything the Democrats want. He was one of the mouthpieces that tell us to get the Senate and the House, and they would stop Obama. And what did Graham do? Nothing. So why should I support those ideas to support Cruz when people like Graham are the mouthpieces? People like Romney, who lost a slam dunk election. Tell me, why should I back that? The Washington Examiner, Ted Cruz pushed to dramatically expand Muslim migration in 2013. Ted Cruz introduced legislative proposal that would have radically expanded Muslim migration into the United States when Senator Marco Rubio was pushing to open American borders in 2013. The Washington Examiner's Paul Bedard noted in a new expose. Plans pushed by a GOP presidential candidate, Ted Cruz, under the immigration reform debate in 2013 that would have jumped the numbers of immigrants, including those from Muslim nations, were raised by the Trump campaign Tuesday. Under the Cruz plan, yearly legal immigration would have gone from 740,000 to 1.6 million. $1.6 million Cruz plan. Donald Trump's campaign manager highlighted Bedard's report on Twitter, too. Back then, during the Gang of Eight amnesty bill fight, Cruz said that the best part of the bill from Rubio and Schumer, among its other co-authors, were its changes to legal immigration. Those changes would have resulted in a complete demographic transformation of the nation. Cruz complained that with regard to legal immigration, Rubio's immigration expansion bill did not go nearly far enough. It did not go nearly far enough. The best aspect of the so-called Gang of Eight bill is the reform that is found concerning legal immigration. I think it makes some positive steps with regard to legal immigration. But I don't think it goes nearly far enough. If we want to improve high-skill innovation, in my view, we should not do so by half measures. We should do so with a significant step that materially improves the status quo. And that, for reasons, I've introduced this amendment to increase the cap by 500%. As such, Cruz offered an amendment to double green cards, which would have resulted in an explosion of low-skilled immigration from non-Western nations. Today, approximately 9 in 10 green cards are given to non-Western countries in the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The U.S. has admitted 59 million immigrants since 1965, changing the structure of the country both economically and culturally. Cruz also offered an amendment to quadruple the controversial H-1B program, which would have allowed corporations to replace American workers with low-wage foreign workers, and would have resulted in a vast expansion of Muslim migration. But of course, they will make excuses. Cruz will point his fingers every which way, and his supporters will ignore the fact that he is out to replace the American worker. He has lied about this during debates, and he'll continue lying. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on High Plains Daily News and SHRmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show.
I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me anymore.
Just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver Common Sense, trying to make sense out of the senseless. And I'm flabbergasted that anybody within the Republican Party, I don't care who the candidate is, would actually make the statement that they would trust on foreign and defense policy Hillary Clinton's judgment. That is just... that is one of the most vile... I'm speechless that anybody can even think that way. Do they even care about the people from Benghazi? Do they even care about those 4 dead? No, they would rather care about politics than care about people. That shows why the establishment needs to go. That's why these people need to go. Lindsey Graham needs to go. They would rather back up Hillary Clinton. And that is... I can't even see the logic in that. They would rather have the murderous Hillary Clinton. And that shows why they need to go. Right there, that tells me I need to leave the Republican Party. When they make statements like that. And they're not the only... I have heard time and time again. I've heard Lindsey Graham even say that he'd rather put up with Hillary Clinton. I am absolutely appalled. And disgusted. And it doesn't look favorable to Cruz when he surrounds himself with these people. That tells me Cruz doesn't give a shit about Americans. That tells me Cruz only cares about himself and getting elected. He doesn't give a shit about the American people. When he surrounds himself with that. And yes, he can control it because he can not allow those people to be around them. He can denounce their support. But he accepts it because he thinks it gives him a chance to win. Remember this. When you go to vote, remember who's surrounding Ted Cruz and all these people that will back Hillary Clinton instead of Trump. These people are backing Cruz. Remember that. Remember that they would rather have a murderous female than to allow Trump. That is disgusting. I don't understand how they can make that statement. And they want to jump on Trump, but they'll back up Republicans who will back a murderous woman. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them are now forgetting about Benghazi real quick just so that their little boy toy can become president. Or they think he can. They will not back Cruz when it comes to the contested convention. And if you don't think they're going to change the rules, they've already talked about changing the rules. They've done it. They did it last election. They changed the rule right before the convention started. They've done it before. They'll do it again. And they'll do it so they can bring somebody else in and push somebody onto the American people that the American people do not want. We tried it their way for the last two elections. And the last election was supposed to be a slam dunk. And Mitt Romney couldn't even win a slam dunk game. How do you lose that election? I will never understand. But you want me to side with Romney? You want me to listen to Romney's judgment? You want me to listen to the judgment of the establishment as they talk about they'll back Hillary Clinton? They can deal with a Hillary Clinton presidency. The woman who got 4 Americans killed. That is vile. That may have been the last straw for me. Because the more I think about it, the more it sinks in, the more it makes me sick. I care more about the men and women from Benghazi than I do about these politicians. And then I know that it's not good to be on a broadcast like this and being a little quiet. It angers me. It pisses me off. When they make statements like that, they don't think how bad it makes them look. They think it's going to push people towards them. Well, it's pushing me away. It's pushing me further from that piece of shit Cruz. It's pushing me further away from anything the establishment touches. They've been saying this for a while now. They would rather deal with Hillary. They'd rather deal with a murderer. They would back a murderer. Cruz. He's a friggin' lawyer. Trained liar. And he has lied about the immigrants and the HB1 visas. And has been previously reported, the H-1B visa is a direct pipeline for Muslim migration. According to the State Department data, in 2014, the U.S. admitted over 4,000 migrants from Muslim majority countries on H-1B visas, plus an extra 108,000 H-1B migrants from India. If the demographics of the employment visa match the demographics of the country, this would mean that more than 15,000 H-1B visas went to Muslim Indians, 14% of the 108,000, meaning that in fiscal year 2014, the U.S. likely issued 19,000 H-1B visa to Muslim foreign workers. Reports have documented the unique challenges posed to the nation by trying to integrate large flows of unassimilated migrant Muslims, as September 2015 congressional reports found that Minnesota, which has the largest Somalian population in the country, also has the largest number of radicalized individuals who have attempted to take up arms and join ISIS in the fight against the West. Equality Now has issued a report detailing how Muslim migrant means 500,000 girls in the U.S. are now at risk of suffering the anti-West practice of female genital mutilation. In Ted Cruz's home state of Texas, there are more than 33,000 girls who are at risk of female genital mutilation. It is likely that number could have increased under Cruz's vision. These amendments were addressed by the Trump campaign on Fox Business Tuesday morning. The pace of Muslim migration into the United States is extraordinary, and we've shown that we are incapable of effectively screening and vetting those who arrive in the United States. And this is a major difference between two campaigns, said Trump's senior political advisor, Stephen Miller. He continued on, I served in the Senate for a number of years for U.S. Senator Jeff Sessions before coming to work for the Trump campaign. In 2013, there was a Gang of Eight immigration bill. Senator Ted Cruz offered 2 amendments to that legislation, which would have substantially increased the Muslim migration. The first one was to double green cards, which would have basically increased migration of Muslims from about 100,000 a year to over 200,000 a year. He has so many people fooled. His dog and pony show has so many people fooled. Just because everybody is looking for a savior. Do I think Trump's perfect? No. Do I agree with everything he has to say? No. But I believe he's the better choice, yes. Cruz is a lawyer. I am tired of lawyers and their bullshit running this country. They have screwed this country up so bad over the years. Everybody complains about this. But then what do? They all of a sudden fall to their knees and just believe the bullshit coming out of their mouths. And then 6 months into the presidency, goddamn lawyers, they're screwing this country up. Well, you elected one. You bought into his bullshit. It's not good, people. Cruz has 2 faces. And everything he does as a senator has been choreographed for a presidential run. From start to finish, it's been choreographed. And people have bought into it. Secondly, he introduced an amendment to quintuple. I'm sorry, I was totally reading that wrong. Breezing over notes real quick, and quintupled H-1B1 visas, including hundreds of temporary Muslim migrants into the United States. So that is a major difference between the Trump campaign and the Cruz campaign. Recent events raise the possibility that Cruz remains wedded to this position of migration expansion, even as polls show GOP voters would like record migration slowed or halted altogether. It's funny how after the attacks now, Cruz wants to sound like Trump. Cruz is all of a sudden repeating what Trump says, his plans. And his supporters clap their hands like trained seals. But they turned their backs on it when Trump brought it up. And yes, they are the same plans. He is a dog and pony show, and you clap your hands like seals. On Monday, Politico reported that Ted Cruz campaign is exploring the possibility of a Cruz-Rubio unity ticket. In 2015, Marco Rubio introduced an immigration expansion bill that would have allowed for an unlimited expansion in Muslim migration. This bill was co-sponsored by Senator Mike Lee, who has endorsed Senator Cruz. And Senator Cruz has also embraced and touted the endorsement of open borders, Senator Lindsey Graham. So much for being anti-establishment. On Twitter, Cruz's longtime former communication director, now CNN contributor Amanda Carpenter, described a Rubio endorsement as gold. Carpenter also suggested that Cruz should continue aligning himself with open border advocates like Representative Paul Ryan, Marco Rubio, Carly Fioroni, and Nikki Haley. It's funny, that name, Amanda Carpenter. That's popped up today in a possible scandal. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on shrmedia.com and High Plains Daily News Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show.
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be me anymore.
Just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to be a part of the show, just go to shrmedia.com and click on the chat room button. Hey, Dan. If you want to watch a live stream, just go to Reaver.one. Click on the live video. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. My daughter also has off today, so as soon as I get done here, I'm going to be going and she's playing my wife in PlayStation 3 baseball. So once I get done here, I'll be going out there and probably taking over for my wife. And it's going to be a nice weekend because I'm going to step away from the politics for the weekend. It is just... it's draining everything that's going on. And it I don't know. It's what's going on is not good for the party and definitely not good for the country. And as I said, it's disgusting when I sit there and you have these upper echelon establishment, whatever you want to call them, and they think it would be better to go with Hillary Clinton over anything and everybody, a woman who got 4 Americans murdered. That is disgusting. And I just can't get over that hump of that. That they would actually say they would rather have Hillary Clinton. Are they that afraid of Trump? It's... the people do not want open borders. And Cruz has been aligning himself with people that are open border advocates. I know people should have different opinions and different ideas. But aligning yourself with an open border group is... that makes me question his integrity. Yeah, they are that afraid, but it's blowing my mind for number one, backing a murderer. They made a big stink over it the last 3 years, 4 years. And now they're willing to back the person they were attacking. It just goes to show how scared, and they know what Trump's going to do if he were to get president. The money train is going to stop with them. It's appalling when I hear politicians getting paid $1 million, $2 million, $3 million to vote yes or no. They get a paycheck. They're supposed to do the will of the people, not how they're being paid off. And don't tell me they were still voting their conscience when you're offered $3 million. And Cruz is a politician. He's a lawyer. And more, that's having a big effect on my decisions. I'm not going to trust that man. He has lied too many times. He's a trained liar. That's what attorneys do. And he's gotten caught in so many lies and so many issues. And as I've said, how many issues, I don't want to say scandals because they're not scandalous, but how many issues have popped up and we're still in the primary? And how many times has he taken responsibility for them? He's always pointing a finger somewhere else. God, that just reminds me of what we put up with the 7 years. And I'm not trying to... maybe I am, I don't know, but I see the last 7 years what has happened with a junior senator who's an attorney. They take no responsibility, always pointing their fingers everywhere else. And it just, to me, that is a glimpse into what his candidacy or presidency would be. And I've complained for 7 years about that and tried to fight that. And if I sat back and allowed that and backed that, I would be a hypocrite. And I can't do that. But these are the same people that are pushing for Cruz for his, big motto of stop Trump, are the same people that are willing to lose the election to Hillary. And the more they fight this, more they fight Trump, the more ammunition they're giving the Democrats to use during a general election. And yes, there is a difference. Right now, people are backing Cruz. So when these polls go about, yes, they back Cruz because they're a supporter. But start looking at after, once the primary's done and general election comes, all the pundits say is a different beast and a different way of polling. And that's just because a poll says right now. We've seen where Trump has thrown attacks at Hillary, some small attacks, and she's dropped in the polls pretty quickly. I'm at a loss. I'm sorry. I'm at a loss. I'm pretty sure I'm done with the Republican Party. I can't back somebody that would back Hillary. And that really has gotten to me today. That is... From my discussions with Chris, and I consider Chris a friend, and I told him I'll always be there to support him and all the guys and all the survivors. I would stand up for them. I would do everything I can with the show to help them. And with that, I can't support Ted Cruz or even... I don't find anything remotely nice to say about Ted Cruz. he's surrounding him with people that have no problem with Hillary all of a sudden. And I got a huge problem with Hillary, with what she did. And that's something I could never, ever let slip. So maybe Cruz isn't backing Hillary, but he's surrounding himself with people that are. And that is what is scary. Because I wouldn't surround myself with those people. I wouldn't trust those types of people to be around me. I would question their motives. But he's willing to surround himself with those people. He's willing to sell his soul for a chance to run for president. They're using him as a tool to stop Trump so they can put in whatever candidate they see fit. And that's why everybody's been backing people like Cruz and people like Trump. Is because they're tired of the establishment picks. We've tried it. Romney, Jim, slam dunk election he had, and he lost it. He was getting attacked by Obama, and he didn't fight back. And it's the Republican Party has not been fighting against the Democrats, but yet they've been fighting amongst themselves in their own. That makes me question their loyalty, where they're at. I question them whether they're conservatives. If they could fight against Republicans, but not against Democrats. And what did the Democrats, what was their thing? They knew they couldn't defeat the conservative movement on the outside. So how many have they snuck on the inside now? I mean, these ones that are causing the infighting, but they won't fight against. I mean, Lindsey Graham is a perfect example. McCain. They were mouthpieces at one time, and all of a sudden now they don't fight against the Democrats, but they will bash and fight against the Republicans. That. I don't want to be part of a party that does that type of stuff. I cannot be part of a party that backs. I mean, everybody has the right to do what they want. But that right there, when they back and make statements like they'll back Hillary Clinton, that is the straw that broke the camel's back. Excuse the pun when we've been talking about Muslim immigration and stuff, but that's it. I know. Yeah, I think I'm done with the Republican Party. Doesn't mean I'm not conservative. I am conservative. I'll keep those values. But I am not going to align myself to a party that is out to destroy itself. But, well, it's that time again. Just whizzes by some days. I want everybody to have a happy weekend. I know a lot of people are going to be celebrating Easter this weekend. Be with your families. Have a good time. And until Monday, happy Easter. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.